Good evening. Welcome to What's Your Story with Sarah Makopoulos. My name is Ken Bell. I'm your host for the show, but the hostess with the most is Sarah. And when I say Marco, you say Polo. All right. Today our guest is Brian Smith. He owns Estate Plan Programs, and we're going to talk to him and find out what his journey is like in business and how he became successful after moving to Texas and only knowing one person. So right now, here's Sarah Makopoulos.
Thank you so much, Ken. I appreciate you introducing us. And thank you so very much, Brian, for coming here on the show today. We're here going to have an incredible show, so thank you so much for coming here today. And with that, we're going to cut right back after these messages, so please stay tuned.
Welcome to WOAW Media. I am Katrina Loco, the CEO. I want to tell you about something exciting that's happening here in our studio, in our office. We are hosting workshops, and not just any workshops. If you are an existing business ready to take your business to the next level, we are the one-stop shop. I'm telling you, we got some surprises for you. We've got some things that'll help you take your business past anything that you could even think. I'm not kidding you. You may be a business and you may be saying, I'm stuck. I've come this far, but now for some reason in my business, I'm stuck. What is it? Well, we may have the answer for you, but you won't know until you talk to us and let us show you how to take your business, like I said, to the next level. If you want to start a business or thinking of something you can do to make extra money, we can help you with that too. Join us.
Welcome back to What's Your Story with Sarah Makopoulos. I'm really excited about our guest tonight, Brian Smith with Estate Plan Programs.
Thank you.
One of the reasons I'm so excited about having you here on my show is to talk about the incredible work you're doing, what brought you here to this moment, and why it speaks to me, why it's so important to me. Just a little bit of background on myself. So my family, and I talked about this briefly in my first episode, but my family has a genetic disease called polycystic kidney disease. And when my father was 42 years old, I was like around 11 years old, he ended up going through end-stage renal failure. And during that time, based off of our lifestyle and the company he was running, he actually came to a point of trying to commit suicide. Thank God he was unsuccessful because shortly after that he ended up getting a kidney transplant. But I don't think at the time my father had a will in place. And he had a wife and 3 children and also a business. That could have had major impact, in my family, something were to have happened to him.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about your company and the importance of estate planning. So let's go ahead and, it's a big question all tied up into one. Yeah, so you came here from Wisconsin.
Came here from Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when you came here, you actually only knew one person. So let's start there.
Well, my son had a home here. He had moved here about 6 years ago. And we simply just got tired of winter in northern Wisconsin and limited opportunities because of not a lot of population up there. So we had decided before our youngest son graduated high school that we were going to move.
Did you have to shovel a lot of snow?
Yes.
Yes.
Feet and feet and feet.
Ah.
It was about a year before we moved. There was an April snowstorm after tax season that dumped over 3 feet of snow on us. So we made the decision that we wanted to be somewhere warm. And since our son had moved here, we decided to come down here.
Well, ain't no better place than Texas if you want some heat.
Yes,
That's
definitely,
for sure.
definitely.
Absolutely, those hot summers. So you came here from Wisconsin. You knew one person. Tell me, how did you end up growing a business out of nothing?
That's an interesting question. When I first came down, I was not going to do this business. I really had no idea what I was going to do. I had been in financial services before. I had built homes. I had done some land development, and basically was going to come down here and get a job, do some construction work. And one of my other sons had been involved with an estate planning program that was an automated program out of Utah. And so he had gotten connected with a good buddy of his from high school, and they were starting this company. And I watched it grow for a little while and decided I had to be part of it.
That's exciting. So tell me about the estate planning side, you know, especially based off of my story. Tell me about some of the stories you've seen and why it's so important for estate planning and how you go about doing that.
When I was in the financial business before, I was a life insurance agent. We sold mutual funds, we did individual stocks. And one of the most rewarding cases I had involved a young farmer. I say young, he was 42 years old.
That is young.
Yeah, and I had gone to his house to review his plan. Didn't really do estate planning at the time, but we were looking at his life insurance. And he had a lot of cash value in his life insurance. And I mentioned to him that possibly he could use that cash value to buy some more insurance now that he needed. He had a young family, he had a big note on the farm, and through long discussion, they decided to do that. Well, unfortunately, about 2 weeks later, he passed away of a heart attack, very tragically.
My mother calls those widowmakers.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was about 2 weeks after we had signed the papers for the life insurance. And we had bumped their life insurance up from $50,000 to $250,000. I still like to believe that that's the only thing
You're a good man.
that kept them, that kept the family on the farm.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's rewarding things like that. We had there's some cases that I've seen where I wish I could have written a will for somebody, or wish I could have done more estate planning. I could see the need, but I couldn't do it. So when I saw my son being involved with this company that could do it, the light bulb just went off, and I figured all the times that I couldn't do something, I wanted to redeem myself, so to speak, to be able to do this for people that needed the additional planning, whether it's a will or whether it's a living trust, or even just taking a look at their entire plan and giving them some pointers.
Now, how often do you see people actually taking action on that? You see so many people that don't have things in place.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think it's hard to talk to someone about that? I mean, who wants to talk about that type of discussion?
Yeah, it's a discussion that you have to gently, get into with people. I think that people do tend to want to talk about it. They avoid it as long as possible, but once the discussion starts, then, basically what I do is I try to bring up horror stories. And everybody knows a horror story. Somebody that's been through probate for years and years and years, and their estate home doesn't get settled. Somebody who died without life insurance, or somebody who, there's all sorts of scenarios that are negative. And when I bring up some of those, you'll see the light bulb go off in the people's eyes. Like, yeah, I remember Aunt Gladys, and her estate, I don't think is still settled. So everybody has that,
Yeah.
and it's easy to start a conversation that way. Now, getting somebody to actually do it, that's another story. Probably about 50% of people that need a plan, need a trust, or need a will done, won't take action.
Those are some high numbers, 50% of people.
Yeah.
So how do you go about reaching those people?
Well, those are numbers after those people have been already reached.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there's a whole number.
What do you think's preventing them from actually doing it then?
It's a whole host of reasons. Some people think that if they talk about it, something bad is going to happen. To some people, it's confusing. What we've tried to take out of it is the expense and confusion. Doing trusts.
Tell me about that. How are you taking the expense out of the confusion?
We've done two different things, mainly. And one is we've automated the process of estate planning. So think about like TurboTax. We've automated tax preparation. We've automated estate planning preparation. We've automated the documents, documentation. The other thing is we actually go to the clients. We work on a referral basis, so we get referrals from other financial professionals, and then we actually go to the clients. When's the last time you saw an attorney actually go to a client's home to prepare a trust?
Normally I end up going to a high-rise office for that.
Yeah, on their schedule.
Yes.
Yeah. So we make it as convenient as possible, easy as possible, and we do it for about 30 to 40% of the cost.
So that means that you'll be available to any family in America.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about, right after these commercial breaks, exactly how you're going to reach those families. So don't go away. We'll be right back after these messages.
Insurance is like, well, insurance. You hope you don't need it, but if and when disaster strikes, you will be happy to have it on hand. Whether for everyday medical expenses or emergencies, you want to be sure you have the right coverage. Enter U.S. Health Group. With flexible choices and options, our health coverage will keep you ready for anything. We offer solutions through our insurance companies which can't be found anywhere else. Our 3,000-plus agents will help you pick the best plan to best meet your needs, including medical, dental, vision, accident, and life insurance coverage. Our agents can assist you online, over the phone, or in person to make selecting coverage as easy as possible. If you'd like to know more, here's how it works. Our insurance companies offer you the ability to buy more coverage if and when you need it. This means you can pay for less coverage under your base plan and feel safe and secure knowing you have the right coverage for any significant medical needs you may have later. With U.S. Health Group, you have options, like upgrading your coverage even at the time of a claim. That's right, more coverage when you choose it. In other words, why pay for coverage before you need it? We are proud to offer you fair rates and no surprises. You can lock in your rate for 15 months at no extra cost. With more than 15 million served, enter U.S. Health Group, helping you with flexible choices and options. Contact us today and get a free quote.
Welcome back. Thank you so much. I have here my guest, Brian Smith with Estate Plan Programs. We were just talking about you're making this a very, very valuable service that is accessible to families all across the board. So, and actually making these professionals available to them within their home. How are you going about doing that?
What we're really trying to do is trying to complete the process that has already been started by financial professionals all across the nation. They're in the best position to work with these individuals. It is an extension of what they're already doing. So we're working with financial institutions to partner together across the entire country. We're in 48 states, and we have an attorney network that covers all 48 states. So
how long ago did you start this to get that broad?
The basis of this company was started about 2.5 years ago.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, I'm going to see your name on Fast Growing Inc. magazine.
Well, hopefully.
Fastest growing company.
Yeah, we're our goal is to be a $100 million company in 5 years.
How do you plan on doing that?
We're putting the foundation together right now with the financial professionals and building partnerships. If you haven't ever heard of the blue ocean theory versus red ocean is the old way to do things where you compete against everybody. Blue ocean is when you work together, where you can. You still compete over here, but you work together in certain ways as well. So in the past, companies didn't want to do that because they felt that that was, sacrificing their company. They were working together with the enemy. Nowadays, there's a lot more collaboration.
You make it sound like war, sir.
It can be.
Yeah?
It can be. We're really taking what the attorneys are doing and automating some of their processes. Most attorneys actually see what we're doing and embrace it. There are some that don't like it though, because we're taking something that they're doing and they're saying it should cost, this much, and we're saying no, it should cost this much, but it's very easy to do. So we make a few enemies along the way.
Hey, that's okay. That means you're disrupting
Absolutely.
the service, just like with what Uber did to the cab drivers.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So there's no shame or fault in that by any means.
No.
So when you're not working to build your company, what are some of the things that Brian likes to do for himself?
That's a hard question to answer because right now we're in such a building mode with the company that that's about all we can focus on. I'll sit down occasionally and strum on a guitar or watch a science fiction movie.
Now,
Something like that.
you were telling me actually during commercial break that when you were in college, you used to write a lot of songs on your guitar. Tell me about that.
I had a notebook that was a couple inches thick, full of song lyrics, and I went to visit my girlfriend in the town nearby when I was in college, and I left it on the bus. And so it's gone.
It's gone.
I had recorded several of those songs, basically just in my bedroom, but
Do you think you're going to get back to recording those?
those songs? No,
Yeah.
they're long gone.
Long gone?
Long gone. Yeah.
Oh.
Somebody's got a notebook someplace with the lyrics in it.
Okay. Now, so you're focused entirely on your growth phase
Right.
currently. And with that, is that providing you any time for your family or friends?
My family's been very understanding. I've been married for very nearly 30 years, and we've had ups and downs like everybody else financially, and in all sorts of manners, of course. But she has supported me. My family has supported me. I'm business partners with my son, who you know
Mhm.
as well, and so
What's it like working with your son?
it's aggravating sometimes. He is exceptionally smart.
Yes,
And-
yes he is.
And at times, that smartness, he's smarter than I am. So it's difficult sometimes to take a back seat and say, okay, son, what do you want to do? Let's do it your way. For somebody that has a lot of pride, it's difficult to do. But I have to because he's actually an exceptional young businessman.
That's actually good leadership qualities in you, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, to be able to take a step back and let someone take the lead.
Yeah, and that's what you were asking about, how we're going to get to $100 million in 5 years, and that's building a team.
Tell me about that team.
Well, I recognize that I'm not CEO material, but there are people out there with that experience, and we will either tap that talent on a part-time basis in a consultancy, or we will bring somebody in. We're currently raising a round of financing to be able to expand our.
Where are you going about raising your financing?
We brought in a partner locally, an attorney in town here in the Frisco area, and he has ties to investors in the Silicon Valley area. So we made a trip out there already.
Oh, my family is out there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to invest.
I'll let them know.
Yeah. So we're well on our way to our first round, which is a small round, but then we also have plans once that is in place for other rounds, and culminating in 5 years, according to plan, will be a $100 million company.
So are you planning on making this business a lifestyle business, or are you going to be selling it at some given time?
I listened to one of your previous guests, and I took some of his advice to heart. You should always look at the exit. As you're building it, look at how to exit a business.
Especially since you've gone through the financial struggle of life before. What was that like?
We've gone from a net worth of nearly $1 million in my life to zero, and now we're on the journey back again.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, and the thing you have to remember is if you got there once, you can get there again. You can't just take that as, it's not a failure, it's a learning, everything is a learning experience.
And what kind of advice would you give someone walking in those shoes?
In the shoes where they're down, just remember that life is about the journey. It's not about the destination. The destination is something to keep in mind. It's a good goal to have, but you need to have fun while you're doing things. It needs to be rewarding while you're doing it. If it's not, maybe it's just temporary. That's okay too. Your situation might be temporary. You have to do some things that you know. I did roofing when I was in my late 40s.
Oh, yeah?
To put
My brother in his early 20s had a 10 million revenue producing company in windshield replacement and repair for about 5 years.
Yeah.
Yes. So not listening to the right professionals will definitely put a damper on the way business can be run, but listening to the right ones and taking their advice,
Absolutely.
can really, really work wonders for your business, wouldn't it?
Yep, absolutely.
Not only that, in your estate planning as well.
Exactly. I hope your brother has
He actually just recently got a kidney. He got a kidney transplant about 14 weeks ago, which was really exciting. He was on dialysis for over 8.5 years.
Okay.
So waiting for his kidney transplant. And that is another reason why services like yours are so important. He actually has a wife and 2 children. Now, think of what would have happened to his family if he weren't here.
that, and additionally, had he become incapacitated and not able to make decisions
Absolutely.
For his own behalf.
So that would be a HIPAA form currently. Is that right?
Yep.
And how easy is something like that to get set up?
The HIPAA and additionally a living trust between the two of them. If he's incapacitated, he's putting plans in place to be able to have those decisions made. And by putting those plans in place, they're decisions that he wanted to make and how he wanted things to be. So he can name a successor trustee that can actually make those decisions instead of leaving it up to the courts.
Now, if it is left up to the courts, tell us about that scenario and what that looks like.
They don't know the individual, so they go by the law. They go by the situation. There's a lot of decisions that people would make differently than the courts. It can take a lot of time. It can be expensive. And it's just it's not your wishes. The courts, especially at death, if we're in a will situation, that's public knowledge. Anybody can have access to that. They can.
So it's airing your dirty laundry
Exactly.
after you had passed.
Exactly.
Yeah. And who wants to see that happen?
Well, nobody.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and that could be of anyone of any stature, isn't that correct?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I run into a lot of times is that people think that estate planning, these other documents, trusts are only for rich people.
No, but they're for everyone, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
And that's why it's so important you made it available to even the regular family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of our goals is to bring it to everyone.
How much time do they? Okay. So, tell me about your exit strategy.
We will get to a point where we just, both my son and I, don't have the expertise that it's going to take it to that next level. We're anticipating that's at that $100 million round. We will have to either take a back seat and still keep an equity position in the company, or we will just completely sell it out. My son will be doing other things. I'll probably, take my money to Belize.
Now, what is your son also doing? He's doing a IP cloud system. Tell us about that.
The EP Club?
Yeah.
Okay, it's really just a different marketing angle. To put it simply, we can take our software and we can license it to a financial professional for them to use with their clients, or we can come in and actually take a referral from that person and then do the work. So it just depends on how comfortable a financial professional is with the software and we're talking about these concepts. So he's nationwide right now with the licensing model. my company that I started off just doing referrals. We've now combined the companies, so we're going to take the referral process nationwide.
Thank you so much for sharing that. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hello, my name is Dr. Yvonne Jones, and I'm here to introduce my new book, Toxic Leadership, a Curriculum to Identify and Prevent Toxic Leaders in Church Ministry. This is much needed, much needed. We have toxic leadership not only in church ministry, but in corporate America as well. And this book will help you, if you pick up a copy, it will help you to determine if you've been toxic, and we all have at some point. And also, it will help you in your church ministry and leadership. It will help you to be a better leader for the Lord, because people tend to love power, and that's one of the elements of toxic leadership, someone that loves power, manipulation, controlling everything. And if you pick up a copy of this book, I promise you, it will help you in your ministry. Amen. So pick up a copy. I promise you it'll help you, because God is a loving God. And also the book talks about servant leadership like Jesus, and to lead how Jesus would have you to lead, because we are living in these last days, last and evil days. And so this will help the church. It's not a call out. It's a call up to the kingdom of God, because he's on his way back for a church without a spot or wrinkle. So you can go to Zulon and pick this book up. You can go to Amazon.com, and you can also go to Barnes & Noble. It's also on Kindle. You can get a copy on Kindle as well. But pick up this book. Help yourself. Help your church to get to the next level in God, and watch God. I promise you, it will be a blessing in your church ministry. It will be a blessing in your individual ministry. And may God bless you and keep you. Amen.
Most people don't plan their financial future because it's complicated. There's so much out there, and I'm here to help you be able to navigate through that and find out exactly what's going to fit right for you. Hi, my name is Sarah Markopoulos. I'm an agent with New York Life, and I office out of Frisco, Texas. When I was a little girl, my father was a life insurance agent out of our hometown where I was born. He was a servant of the people, and I wanted to be that myself and give that to others. I knew New York Life would be the one that could help me do that. It's my clients. Each and every single one of them are different. So I help them not only enjoy the fruits of their labor, but also they'll be able to be secure in their financial future. Because either way, a choice will be made for you, whether you make one for yourself independently or life makes that choice for you. At the end of the day, you'll know you'll be okay. I came to New York Life because I love New York Life. I know what New York Life can provide for you, and I want to be able to be the one to bring that to you.
Welcome back. Thank you so much. So, Brian, let's get right back into it. Why don't you go ahead and share with the audience some of the things they could expect when they have one of your attorneys out to their home?
Okay. The process is very simple. It's usually done at a person's kitchen table, face to face. Usually have myself or one of our other representatives with us, an attorney with us, and it's basically a question and answer. It's very simple. We start the program up, we start asking questions about their basic information, and then we start getting into their wishes. Now, we've also primed them ahead of time by giving them some information and some questions ahead of time. So they should have thought about where they want their assets to go, how they want their children to be taken care of, that type of stuff. So it's usually done in about an hour. to an hour and a half, depending on the complexity. Some cases get very complex, and we have to actually schedule an additional attorney meeting. That's only about 3% of the time, though. So most of the time, we can get all the information we need in one meeting, then go back, have the attorney review it, draft all the documents with the program and the attorney together, and deliver documents within 5 to 7 business days.
That sounds pretty fast. So is that something that's normally done that fast
No,
in the industry?
no, because attorneys like to build value. So if they're going to charge you $2,500 or $3,000, whatever they're going to charge for those services.
Yeah, I was going to say, it took my father like months to get his will.
Right. That's how they build value. They think it's how they build value. Really, the value is the documents. It's the interaction between the representative and the attorney and the customer sitting down discussing the plan. That's where the value is.
Now, is it only limited to estate planning?
No, not at all. We're actually, that's where we started. We're a legal services company in Texas, and we actually in 5 other states as well. We started in Texas with the legal services company. We're going to be a legal services company in 48 states. And we can bring all types of legal services to our customers and to the financial professionals' customers.
So you're talking about business owners as well?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
We've already started working with some business owners in
Rents and royalties too?
Yeah, the Frisco area, we've started working with some business owners on, there's one that is going to be franchising his company, so our attorneys are working with them. So basically what we are is an intermediary. We bring people together. And so if an attorney is wanting more business and the customer is out there, we bring them together.
Well, that sounds like a win-win situation to me.
Yep.
So how long do you actually plan on working?
How long do I plan on working? I'd like to be done in the next 5 or 6 years.
5 or 6 years?
Yep.
What does that life look like to you?
Well, I half jokingly tell my family that they're going to find me in Belize.
Yeah?
Only half joking.
Half joking. Why only half? Where did the other half go?
No, I'm actually very intrigued with Belize. Any type of a beach area where it's warm. Remember, I was facing 2 feet of snow just a couple of years ago.
No.
So, yeah, no, it won't be full time on the beach though. We'll always be doing something.
Yeah, you'll be in Antarctica the other time, the other half of the time, right?
Maybe Canada.
Canada.
Yeah.
What's in Canada for you?
Oh, some of the best fishing in the world.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I love fishing. I fish with my dad.
Yep.
Last time he came down to visit me, I took him to Lake Hubbard and we caught like 35 fish.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's always a
that's
good
a
time.
good
Nice
time.
and relaxing.
It is relaxing.
Yep. I've been to Kodiak, Alaska several times as well.
Okay. Okay.
So,
And what is the best way for someone to be able to contact you?
a couple different ways. Our number is 214-504-5395. That's the best way to reach me. We also have a web presence. We have two web properties. One is www.estateplanprograms.com, and the other one is www.myepcloud.com. That would be more for the financial professionals.
Okay. And now, on the financial professional side with the cloud, what is their benefit to be able to send those referrals to you?
We actually have come up with a way where we can pay a referral fee through the legal services construct. It's something that is not being done anywhere else, and we figured out a way to do it. So there's a financial incentive. Now, many financial advisors provide this for no fee. They're not in it for the fee. They just want to do what's right and offer a more holistic approach to financial planning for the customers.
And that's a real way you're going to get to 100,000 million company.
Absolutely.
Talk today. $100 million company, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I never thought it would be there when I saw the plans that the investors brought back to us. It's an amazing thing, and the growth that we're looking at.
Okay. Well, fantastic. Thank you so very much for joining us. I really appreciate you
Thank you for having me.
having you here. Next, we are really, really excited about our musical artist we have performing, Remy G. So let's go ahead and hear it for Remy G, you guys.
This is an outside story. Yo, we did a trailer's relationships his best friend treats like one breaks. Brother got shot, his kid fell, he died. I see the dog stuck in his eyes. My last breath, I wanna be alone. But he knows there's no one left. He speaks to turn his sister to a dancer in the next world. His daddy died years ago, he's never coming back. Got one on the run, he says he's never going back. So he pops on his hand, but his hand is on his strength. There's certain things in life that you might not understand. And now he's got a pistol in his hand. Yo, we did trips. Part 2.